Alright, I'm back to talking about the Primarchs again, especially since you guys seem to be responding to these types of videos well, and I have still not said all of what I had to say about them, so I thought that tonight we should talk about them in more detail, and what better way to do that than via a tier list. So let's get into it. Fulgrim. I'm sorry, it's so confusing that they are not in Legion orders, but okay. So Fulgrim I really rather like. He is the first one in the Horus Heresy that we get a really good exploration of how he has fallen into chaos. And I hear you scream at this point, no, it's actually Horus, but no, I will come back to that later. It's Fulgrim. However, in the very last bit of the book they chicken out of it, which I don't like. However, you get to see him again and again as the creepy snake man, and even with traits in the infinite. So he is still fun, but a lot of wasted potential. But I really enjoy his book, so for now I am going to put Fulgrim to the tippy top of the C tier, which is just a mid, and I might re-evaluate this later. Perturabo I really like. He's very enjoyable, of course. I also like the whole Iron Within, Iron Without angle, and how the Emperor misunderstands it, and maybe not even the Emperor, but more like Malkador, and they sent him into all those shit situations and they slowly break him with no empathy. Also the quote that no one knows the three things I dream, no one ever bothered to find out that is metal as fuck, so that I really do like. However, I think he is underutilized, so it's a lot of tell and a bit too little show of his expertise for me. So for now I am putting him into the B tier. And I guess I should explain, so I am going to use the entire tier list, or I'm gonna try to, and I'm gonna be like strict about the S tier and the A tier even. So B and C are still good. Sanguinius, honestly, he is again super interesting. Him being such a perfect person, and then him being the only one that's like horrifically mutated and yet still beloved, and him being just so loyal and having the prophetic foresight and still fighting Horus. So it's a lot to work with here, and his death is also probably the most iconic death in all of 40k, and I also really like the malfunctioning gene seed of the Blood Angels that stems from his death. So Sanguinius is good, really good, especially like I've said all of it. However, when especially the Horus Heresy books get into his character, which is with the Imperium Secundus arc, the books are not really good, are they? And that holds him back. I think this is a Primarch that, when you look at his like profile and things about him, like could easily be S tier, but in the way that they are written, I think I'm gonna have to bump him down to just an A. Yeah, I think that's good. Johnson is, I feel like he is like on the level of Perturabo. I don't particularly care for the Dark Angels, but I see the appeal, like the whole knightly order vibe and the secrets and just the ruthless pragmatism of Johnson. It's just not something that I personally care for a lot. He's a good character. I think he is, for me, on the level of Perturabo for now. Yeah, that works. Dorn. I like Dorn. I really do. He has a very strong introduction when he just slaps Garo. That's cool. His famous speech at the Siege of Terra, that goes really hard. Like, they are coming, kill them all. Super well characterized Primarch. And the whole like march down from the front just to protect Terra. Turns out that it's a whole like really important job. Yeah, Dorn is cool. I think he can be again with Ferrus and Johnson. Ferrus, I'm sorry, with Perturabo and Johnson for now, with the potential for A tier. This is like a whole Doctor Doom and Reed Richards dynamic here. Ferrus, I like the idea of Ferrus. I like every time when the actual Marines in the Legion don't understand the teachings of their fathers. Foreshadowing much. And I like the character of Ferrus. I like that he makes weapons for all his brothers, but again he suffers a lot from like dying early, right? His death is the important and famous part of the heresy, and it just so much happens after it, and he goes out early is my point. So I'm not well written, unfortunately, so I have to bump him to D for now. Angron, same thing. I get the idea that he was supposed to be an empath. I get the tragedy. I get that he's there to emphasize how the Emperor is kind of a dick that could easily help him, but he's just like, we are in a hurry. You are just a tool to me. Go kill. So it's like a hefty dose of like comeuppance bundled up with Angron. In theory, but again, this is something that GW tells you, but they struggle to show. So for now, he comes here with Ferrus. But I think that with that, all the more middling Primarchs are actually out of the way, and now we have been left with good ones. Lorgar. I hate to admit this. Lorgar is kind of nice. Like, he tries to be empathetic. He fails. He is on this mission with his faith. He's right, but he's easily manipulated. They set him up as his teachings and the guy that predicted the heresy. Not the heresy, the divinity. But it's more actually Erebus and Corferon who are actually doing the heavy lifting, not him. I like the whole Monarch and the conflict with Guilliman. So yeah, Lorgar better than we give him credit for. I think he's worthy of this tier, above Fulgrim definitely. Alpharius is so much fun. His idea is perhaps the most like entertaining of all Primarchs. The whole, are they loyal? Are they a traitor? Which of them are even dead? It's cool. And yeah, Alpha Legion very appealing, and even though they also have relatively few books, all of those are bangers. Even if we are just staying within the realms of the heresy, his standalone books is great. The Legion book is great. He shows up again in Praetorian of Dorn and the White Scars books. Those are good. So Alpharius is always like a positive patch of color in 40k. So for that reason, I am putting him in A tier for now. Curze. So there, I don't know. A lot of the criticism that I have said before could apply to Curze, I think, and he's very gimmicky, but he's just so much fun. the fucked up 40k Batman vibe, his like insane pettiness about his prophetic visions, and how he like, oh, well, I have no agency then, fuck you father, and I'm just gonna indulge in this cruelty. And then the whole like assassin thing, well, are you gonna let it happen then? Or are you gonna resist and take ownership of all your cruelty? Like, it's cool, it's a gimmick, but it's cool. Obviously a very apparent Sanguinius comparison between these two guys, even with the bat theme. Sanguinius is better, but he can come to this tier with these guys. I think he can hang out there, that's cool. Russ, I really like Russ, I have to say. He's been a Primarch that I've gotten into quite late, and I have fallen for the like Viking wolf aesthetic, but no, he's much deeper than that. He's like he has this like elemental, how to say, like disdain for what he often has to do for the Emperor, and yet he is the loyal dog that does it still, but he's hung up on it. And especially like after the Siege of Terra, he like really matures into a wise leader and realizes his mistakes. And of course the dynamic with Magnus is good as well, so Russ surprisingly is gonna be an A tier for me. Khan, I am tempted to put the Khan into S. I've said this before, but I have two standout moments with the Khan. One is when he first gets wind of the heresy and starts speculating like, oh, well, Russ is killing Magnus. No, actually they are bombing each other. No, actually Magnus is chaos now, and he just can't decide what's going on. And he does what no Primarch has ever done, basically. He just, alright, I'm gonna wait until I have more info. The go fast guy does this. It's pretty cool, in my opinion. And then he just has the most cold, rawest one-liners, especially to Mortarion. Yeah, I like the Khan, but if I tune down my fanboy ravings, he doesn't do much. So he's sidelined pretty much the entire heresy, save for the like end of the siege. So I think you need more like shaking lore events to happen in your story to get that S. So he is gonna hang out for me at the tippy top of A tier. And then Guilliman, just devastatingly, has to be an S. I don't want to do this. I don't want to put the Ultra Boys into the best category, but I have to. Like he just starts out as the blandest imaginable Primarch, and then GW keeps putting him into the best narratives, right? He puts them up against the word bearers. He makes him honestly kind of the villain in that arc, and then yet he is like the good guy. He runs this perhaps the most livable place in the Imperium, Ultramar, right? And Macragge. And then he also has his legacy with the Ultramarines being in so many good games lately. And this is outside the bounds of the heresy, but he's so good in Dark Imperium. To take Guilliman, who is like the most rational of the Primarchs, the most, or one of the most on board with the Emperor's plan, and put him into the fucked up version of that vision in the year 41,000 and have him have to deal with it, have him have to clean up the mess. That was a stroke of genius. I'm sorry, that dichotomy is very few like it in 40k that are that good. that well executed, I might add. So still, moving on. Mortarion, he has two things going for him, even though he is personally not that interesting for me, but he has these two good things, which are, number one, he's so just the right amount of perfectly hateable, like completely all the way against the Psychers, even with an understandable backstory of the Emperor killing the Necromancer on his planet. Just completely minded by his hatred, falling for all the corruption that he accuses others with. That's a good 40k tragedy. And the other thing that he has is the Death Guard are fun, right? Plague Marines, Nurgle Marines, fun to fight, cool bad guys, and sometimes that's all you have to have in 40k. So Mortarion, no, not A, either has to be B or C. No, actually I think that it has to be like, so he has to be in B, and I'm gonna knock Curze down to Fulgrim, and I'm going to put Lorgar higher up. Who would have thought? Corax? I like Corax, although Stealth Marines are not particularly appealing to me, and I think when I have to find like an edgy boy, that's where Curze is. But I have to say, Raven Guard fans are like the chillest of the chill. They like their Raven Marines. They know what they have. They like it. They enjoy it. They are not obnoxious about it. So, as an honorary like fan now, even though I'm kind of like mid on them, I'm gonna put them on above Mortarion. Vulkan is an A tier guy for me. That was good. Okay, so the reason behind this is because the salamanders are cool, right? They caring about the civilians, yet being the most horrific, like fire torture people. Cool. And like having this more altruistic vibe among space marines who largely treat humans below them could get old, but because they are just the salamanders, it's enjoyable. And then Vulkan is a delight. I'm just going to say something that for those who are in the know, it is also a hammer, right? Stone Cold line, pretty cool. Vulkan, chill guy. Is he 80 though? No, I think he's going to be above Dorn, right there. And Horus is my hottest take. Horus comes to D. Let me explain. They set him up. Of course, we all know that this entire story arc that we largely operate within now is called the Horus Heresy. And it is supposed to be about the fall of Horus Lupercal and his dynamic with the Emperor. And then all of the corruption of Horus, at least the important one. I know about the blade and I know about the vision and how Magnus saves him almost and then he fails. That's cool. But almost as big of a factor as that should be that he's fed up with the administrators of the Imperium. He is afraid of being replaced once the Great Crusade is over. He starts to see the cracks behind the facade of the Emperor, the lies, the manipulation, how he treats his sons like tools. Like, this is almost as big as a factor in his fall as the Chaos Tab. But all of this happens off screen. Like, we leave the Nebnet's first book with the Interacts, and then all of this has happened by the time you get to book 2. That is unforgivable in a 67 book series that's supposed to be about this. So even though Horus has the potential to be an S tier, just on how he has shaped the setting, unfortunately for me, for this completely arbitrary gripe, I realize that he's better than this. I have to protest this and put him here. I'm sorry. And then Magnus is the other S tier character. Opa, I'm sorry. I'm debating which one is better. Probably Guilliman, but not by much. Magnus is my favorite, so this is completely personal view. But the first time that I have seen him almost stop Horus's fall and fail, and then almost stop Lorgar's fall and fail, and then suffering from terminal, I know how better it is, and just ruining everything, then going passive, then ruining it again. So interesting, like the perfect Greek tragedy. Also has a baller name, Magnus the Red, has the all is dust, super cool rubric names to him. I haven't mentioned this, but all Primarchs come with like a second in command, right? Like Abaddon or Erebus or whoever, and I think Magnus is a second in command. Ahriman is up there, one of the, if not the best ones. So yeah, everything about the Thousand Sons is super cool. And of course, they are Psycho Marines. That's a big plus. So let's see. I'm tempted to at least push something down to E, and it would have to be at least either Ferrus or Angron. Yeah, I like that. I think that's fair. Also nice even distribution. Yeah, Corax is good there. He belongs higher, but I have the personal gripe. Yeah, that's good. Dorn being like the baseline of the Primarchs, so that's poetic. Although these are all like pretty equally made in their own tiers. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Bye.